Hey everybody, hope you're having a great day. It's Thursday and I decided I'm going to do a video comparing the Fantasy Flight Games All-Terrain Scout Walker to the Bandai All-Terrain Scout Walker. Now, this video is not going to cover gameplay mechanics of Star Wars Legion. This is just a model-to-model comparison of what you get for your price. Now, the price tag for the Legion model is $50 rounded, and the price for the Bandai model is $30 rounded. Of course, if you get a nice discount anywhere that you get your gaming stuff, that always helps. With the Bandai model, I picked it up at Hobby Lobby with a 40% discount, and I bought a can of Tamiya Surface Primer, light gray, which is about the right color for the ATST. Still came out cheaper than the Legion model. So, you decide which one's going to be a better value for you. What this video specifically is for is the build of the models themselves. Now, in my previous video for Star Wars Legion, they got a lot of hate for some reason, but it's all good. Everything is subjective. I already started pre-assembling the Legion model, and I'm going to start with that first. The ATST model I have not even unwrapped, so I don't know what the sprues look like. I have seen a couple videos, just to be clear, on the build of the ATST. Looks fairly simple. But I'm going to go ahead and pause the video real quick, reposition the camera, and we're going to start with the Legion model. And like I said, I have already done some pre-assembly to it and some sanding. We'll go with that one. Then we'll go to the Bandai model, compare parts and size, and start the build. This may or may not end up being a two-part video, depending on how large the file size is for this build. And I'm going to try some editing software for the first time. See if I can do those quick build type videos. But we'll see. We'll take it one step at a time. Alright, just be 1 second. Let's get this set up. Okay, now we're looking at the Star Wars Legion All-Terrain Scout Transport ATST, Scout Walker, Chicken Walker. Take your pick. Again, we're not talking about game components. We're talking about models themselves. Okay? But the presentation for this is very nice. I do like the way the box is set up. Seems like some wasted space. Get all that space there. But, you know, it is what it is. So, like I said, I did some pre-assembly already. And to be honest, the assembly for this is really quick. After doing some research, I found that Fantasy Flight did intend for all the models to be quick build so you can get to playing right away, regardless if you paint them or not. So here's your assembly guide. A lot of this does come pre-assembled. Very little assembly needed. Nothing comes on runners, so you don't have to worry about that. So we've got the head piece here. Let's start with this. This is a piece that does come pre-assembled already, so you don't have to paint it, or rather you don't have to glue it. And honestly, if you just want to get this on the game table, that's great. It's not bad at all. It's pretty close to the color. If you want to go movie accurate, it's fairly close to the color. You can obviously tell it's not painted. But again, this is all set up for you. Everything is on here. It is lacking a little bit of detail that I'd like. That's why I got the other model by Bandai. Hatch does not open. So yeah, this is that. The only complaint I really have about it from a modeling standpoint is, oh wow, I don't know why my camera's not focusing. Let's see. Let me try to adjust something here. There we go. That should help a little bit. Maybe. Okay, there we go. Right here, they got a little bit of glue right there on this part. Something I can forgive because I can sand that off really quick. You're not even going to notice it, which I do intend to sand off here. So yeah, so here's your head unit. It's pretty big. It's if we put it on here, it's about 3 inches in length and 2 inches tall. So 3 by 2 and by 2 back here, about 1.5 in the front. Okay, this is another piece that is pre-assembled. This is your main body where your legs are going to go right here. This piece right here, I glued on. This is a separate piece, and let me address that real quick. On the assembly manual, it shows this piece. This is the piece that I just showed. This is supposed to pop in like that with one little peg. That has changed. It's 2 separate pegs on either side of where this would have been, and those will just pop right in there. I would glue it because mine was very loose, so it's not quite snap fit, quote unquote. It'll stay there if you don't move the model a lot, but just to be sure, I would glue that in. Also on the feet, which I also mentioned in the previous video, let me get out the foot here. So the foot, as you can see here, is supposed to have a flat. It shows on the assembly manual that it's flat right here at the ankle joint, and it just slides right in. Again, that's another piece that was changed to where, and let me get the foot out if I could find it real quick. Nope. There we go. So instead of it sliding in, you do have 2 pegs, which I think is a much better choice for stability purposes. Because now you just pop it right in, and there you go. So yeah, actually, everything, it is a very quick build. You can build this if you don't want to sand it, if you just want to get it out of the box and get onto the table. This can be built in about 10 minutes. I mean, quite literally 10 minutes. And I've already, like I said, I've already pre-assembled it. There's some parts here. So yeah, this leg goes here, and they are a nice tight fit. And just to go over the anatomy of the leg, basically you have the foot, the ankle connection point, this right here, this piece right here just snaps right in. It's not snapped in all the way. We'll go ahead and snap it in because it does allow for some movement because it is a ball joint. Not really a ball joint, just a ball socket type thing. So you can move it. I wouldn't move it during game. Once I have it in game, I would just kind of leave it as is. And then this piece right here also just comes, just take it, plug it in, and it fits. So yeah, this is a very quick assembly. Not too bad. You just got to figure out the positions you want it in. Like I said, you might want to glue this stuff in once you get in a position because of the way it is. Just like that. There you go. This piece goes right here. This is where your head is going to go. Now, you can see I got parts falling off. Again, none of this was glued except for 1 or 2 pieces. You see I got to do a little bit of cleaning right there because it's got a little bit of a injection point. Trying to get in a position that I like. The reason I'm doing this is because this head is kind of weighty. Now it's got a ball socket right here. It goes on here. So it doesn't snap in at all. I hope I can get this on camera. It doesn't snap in. It just kind of sits there. So yeah, and then it just kind of, I'm going to have to move this around a bit just to get this to stand up in the way I like it. Yeah, it just falls apart. Again, it's not glued though, and I don't think this was intended to be something that you actually play with as like a toy. Again, this is just for demonstration real quick. I think I like it about that height. Okay, so there you have it. It is front heavy. So if you don't glue on that head and you don't glue this to the base, it's going to be toppling over. The head does not stay on very well. Let me adjust this camera real quick. A little bit more. There we go. So when you move the head, you see it'll be really wobbly. So you're going to have to glue it in place. If you're skilled with magnet work, I would suggest magnets. Maybe putting one right here and then one right in the middle. Just so you have that option to be able to move it around without gluing it in place. So yeah, it's a really quick build, but as you can see, you're definitely going to want to glue some stuff together once you get it assembled. And there you go. So all in all, it's not a bad model. It's not as detailed as I would like it to be. Is it a $50 model? That's to be determined. You know, a lot of people will say, oh, but you get all the game components with it and everything. Which, for some reason, I thought, there they go. Which is basically this right here. Your card and some upgrade cards. Which isn't bad. The base, however, is very interesting. I'm going to go over the base real quick because I haven't really looked at it. I'm just going to set him aside in here because, like I said, I have to do some gluing. So the base itself, if you are going to decorate the base, like most people do, I've seen a lot of the Fantasy Flight videos, they have this edge here. It looks like they taped it off before they decorated the base. So this X, if you haven't picked this up yet, this X represents your firing arcs. Forward arc, rear arc, side, side. This is the front, this is the back, or vice versa. Just depends how you place the model on it. I would honestly recommend, if you plan to decorate this base, like 99% of us will, go ahead and get your hobby knife and mark off right here. Mark off where the edges of your firing arcs are, directly on here. Make a nice cut and nice groove. This way there's no question about it. No matter how you pose your model, nobody can say that's not your front arc, that's your front arc, so on and so forth. So there's no arguments. It is a nice hefty base. It's really thick. It's super strong. I really like it. And he fell apart. So yeah, let me go ahead and pause this, and we're going to go ahead and unbox that Bandai AT-ST real quick. Alright, Bandai AT-ST Scout Walkers, 1/48 scale. And as I said, the price is $29.99 at Hobby Lobby. Use that Hobby Lobby app for your 40% off. I cannot recommend it enough. If you're fortunate enough to have a Hobby Lobby that actually carries any sci-fi miniatures rather, or models rather, that's where I get the majority of my Star Wars models from, only because of that 40% off. And I've been focusing mostly on, to be honest, on the Starfighters. The AT-ST and the AT-AT just weren't on my list until I got Star Wars Legion. Now the AT-AT that they have out is not going to be the right scale for this game. Pure and simple. We all know it. You're going to want to get that Rogue One ACT, the all-terrain armored cargo transport, or another AT-AT rather, from the Star Wars action figure line, from the 3 1/4 line, because those will actually be true scale for the game. Believe it or not, they really will. So if you can afford it, you want a great scenery piece, get it. But let's go ahead and open this up real quick. And whoops, sorry for the shaky camera. As you saw with the Legion Scout Walker, it is really honestly a very quick assembling. There is no denying that it is a quick assembly. Now from the videos I've seen of this, it's about a 20 to 30 minute process, possibly up to an hour. Just depends. I'm not sure. I will find out here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and get this unboxed. And let's see, so the presentation is there. We're not going to worry about the presentation of this. There's been plenty of unboxing videos. This thing's about 2 years old. Alright, so we'll put the box away. So right away, we are met with a mountain of plastic. I mean, let's see, we've got 1, 2, and for those wondering, there is Chewbacca. You know what? Let me grab a Star Wars Legion figure. See how it measures up to Chewbacca real quick. Just be one moment. Wasn't expecting that. Okay, so we've got our unit leader, Stormtrooper. Let's see if he was standing on the base. Okay, Chewbacca is correctly scaled for this game. Look, if you want a Chewbacca just on Battlefield, even if you can't use Chewbacca or a Wookiee, look, he's there and he is the right scale for this. So my hopes are pretty high on this right now, to be totally honest. I think this is gonna be the main one. So right away, there's that neck connection piece. So let me go ahead and get that off this Legion piece. Let's see if it's the same size. And oh crap, it is. It is actually the same size. They are the same height, same width. It comes in 2 pieces. That is a missed opportunity, I think, for Bandai. They could have made this into 1 piece like Fantasy Flight did. But as you can see, the Fantasy Flight piece is pre-assembled, and it is 2 pieces also. Slightly different molding, slightly different tooling. Okay, so we have our Scout pilot. Kind of hard to tell. He's in a sitting position, but I would say if he were standing, more than likely he would be about the height of the Stormtrooper. Not as thick. I don't know. The feet look like they're about the same. The legs possibly. It could be because of the armor, Stormtrooper armor, making him look smaller. It'd probably be better comparison if I had General Veers, which I think came out this week or comes out next week. If I had the General Veers expansion, that'd probably be a better comparison. But I don't have them right now. Okay, so obviously you're not going to use the base for Star Wars Legion, but it is nice to have these 2 pegs so you can display your model here, do your Endor set. Alright, so there's the top of the head. And let me see. That's the front of the head right there. That is the bottom. So let me go ahead and get the head out real quick. This is several pieces here. So that's the head. It looks like the Fantasy Flight is actually bigger. Well, that is surprising. Well, no, it's about the same. They're actually about the same. See the bottom piece, I can't do a direct thing. Again, it's about the same. You know what, let me just open this up. Wasn't planning to. Sorry for the shakiness, I keep hitting my camera arm. Keep hitting the camera arm, holy crap. You guys know how it is. It's okay. It'll be alright, everything will work out in the end. Let's try that again. So you know what? After seeing all these pieces that the Bandai model has, I'm going to assume it's going to be a longer build because I am going to want to detail in this cockpit. Alright, so let's see. That is 27. We are looking at, this is the bottom that matches this piece. There we go. Slightly smaller. It is slightly smaller. I'm not able to line it up perfectly. And of course the camera, because the way I have the camera position, is not showing. It is a little bit smaller, but not by much. And comparison, the details there, that's where all the pipe work goes. Looks like they've got most of it except for a couple rivets. And on the top, look at the top also. Some sharper details on the Bandai kit than on the Fantasy Flight one. Just the details are sharper. The Fantasy Flight one does look like it's softer. That's the term a lot of people have been using. And we'll go ahead, we'll open up and get the front piece here. I'm going to have to assemble legs. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble the legs. So you know what? This may end up being a 3-part video. We will find out once I get done with all of this. But I'm going to have to assemble the legs. See, just off the bat. Yeah, everything's looking like it's about the same size. So basically, on first impression, as I'm starting this video series, first impression is the Fantasy Flight one is 1/48 scale. And they're going to be the same sized models. More than likely, though, the Bandai one will have better posability, because they're known for their posability. Over the last 10 years, they've been really good about getting their models taken care of. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stop this video right here. We'll call this the end of part 1, comparing apples to oranges, or oranges to oranges, or scouts to scouts, whatever you want to call it. And we'll see. If anything, this Bandai model, if it ends up being smaller, I would say pick it up with your 40% discount at Hobby Lobby and make it into wrecked battle terrain, because for the price you can't beat it. It'll be a great value to you and a great piece of scatter terrain. Alright, let's take it easy. We're calling it part 1. Alright guys, have a good one.